Now, this chart looks pretty good for this monthly budget chart, and it is a column chart. Now, suppose I want to display the same data in a pie chart. Then how would it look? So what I do is I first go and select and delete this, and then select my data, that is the bills, month, Feb and March, all the three with all the bills. I leave the total as it is, and then I go to insert and I click on this pie chart and click on this chart. So now you get a very different type of a chart, right? Now in this case, it represents or shows me only the rent. Now this kind of a chart cannot display all the data series, all the rows values. It will pick up all the column values as your series and then only display one of them, one of the rows for all the three columns. And it will show here the share of the pie, that which is having how much share. Now it might look equal, they are equally distributed, because for each month I'm actually giving the same amount of rent, except in March, which is basically 1200. But that is that amount is so less. If you may take the difference between the Feb and the March, or Jan and the March, is so less that you don't find that difference. Now to know it clearly, if I suppose say that fine, March rent is 2000, then you can understand that this actually represents the entire rent which I have paid, like 4000, out of which this one is the March, which is 50% of that 4000, and this is around 25%, and this is around 25%. So if you hover your mouse over this pie, the slices of what you see for this particular circle, then you might see this coming up, which tells me what this series is all about. It's a series which is of March 2019, and it is having a value of 22,000, which is 50%. But I bring it back to 1000, so it very much looks like this. Now suppose I want to see the reverse, that is, I want to see the rent, phone, credit cards, food and candy as a part of my pie, and my legends would be like rent, phone, credit cards, and this circle would be of for Jan, for example. Okay, for Jan. Then what should I do? Then I need to do nothing. I just need to select this chart, go to my chart design, and click on switch row column. So I want to switch this, which is now as rows, to column, and this to rows. So when I click on this, you see, I can see now that this is a Jan chart, and now it is showing me rent. This is my rent, this is my candy, this is my food, this is my credit card part, and this is my... So these slices are actually showing off the different percentage or values and their share in this pie. So that's how pie chart actually changes. Now, for example, if I want to show the Feb one, then what should I do? Now to show the Feb one, what you need to do is that you need to go and select your data, click on select data and remove that, delete it, select this, press Ctrl and select Feb and say OK. And now you can see the same with the Feb. Okay, if you want to see the March, select data, delete this, select the bill and select March and say OK. And this is the March pie chart. So this is how pie chart works and displays data. So depending on the kind of requirement you have, you will pick up a chart. So if you want to show all the data series, you can use column chart. If you're only interested in showing one data series as as one pie, and then for that pie, what is the each row's contribution to that. Now if you want, you can also show data labels. You can format this. You can format this pie chart or change the type of chart if you want here. So if I can select this and I go to my right click on this and change or I can go and click here and click on change chart type, and from here I can move to the 2D, right? 2D or 3D or whatever, 3D type, and here I can say okay. So I'll get a lot of options for 3D, so I can select them and check which one suits me for my display. So here I can have the labels as well, so this will tell me different percentage of these contribution here. So rent is 57%, candy is 7%, food is 20%, credit cards, phone, right? I can also do it from here, add element, and from here I can go to the legend, I can make it to the right, and similarly data labels, I can have none, center it, inside, outside, end, best fit, call out, anything which is whatever I like, right? So this way I can do a lot of formatting on my pie chart and display the pie chart. Okay, so we learned two things. One is the column chart in the previous video, and this one is the how to create a pie chart and how to label them.